Ah, the Mendoza College of Business on the campus of the University of Notre Dame, a place where undergraduates, graduates, and executive graduates are developed into business leaders. This massive building houses classrooms, reception halls, and study spaces, all with the intention to nurture students, but in certain instances can act as a hindrance. Meet Dave, a successful finance concentration and student athlete. Today, he has only one thing on his mind, a microeconomics midterm. Dave has been in class all morning, leaving him only 30 minutes to quickly review key topics before taking his test. Normally, Dave would be studying with friends, but now he needs to focus. His favorite place to study is the Giovannini Commons. Dave rushes down to the Commons, but sees that all the seats are full. Not wanting to waste time and knowing he needs a quieter place to study, he quickly heads to the Dormer Center. Unfortunately, the dormer is closed due to interviews. Pressed for time, Dave looks for a good place to study. Looking into the MBA lounge, there are a few seats open. However, Dave would need to share a table and put up with loud, distracting noise. Dave's search has cost him 10 precious minutes. Not wanting to waste any more time, he settles for a desk in the hallway. With only 20 minutes left to study, Dave tries to focus. The time passes quickly, and soon Dave is off to take his midterm. As Dave sits down at his desk, he takes inventory of his feelings. He feels prepared for the exam, but wishes he would have had more time to review his notes. As the instructor passes out the test, panic rushes through his body. He hopes that he will be able to remember the material from last night's study session. This is Kelly, a bright, focused MBA student. Kelly is presenting a sustainability strategy to Dow Chemical executives in the morning. Her team is meeting to finalize the presentation and refine a few of the deliverables. For Kelly, this is an important presentation, as she hopes to work for Dow. She thinks this presentation might lead to an interview. Kelly meets up with a few members of her team. Already they can see that the MBA team rooms are full and the dormer is hosting interviews. With little choice, the team decides to see if there is any opening downstairs. Kelly is hoping they will find a space with a whiteboard and enough room to have 2 laptops up and running. She realizes as they walk downstairs that this is their last chance to fine-tune their presentation. They have to get it right. Peeking into the BIC, they see the one table for team meetings is taken, and the rest of the BIC is full and very busy. They will have to try elsewhere. The remaining members of the team meet up with Kelly in the stairwell. Apparently, the Giovannini Commons are reserved, and no team meeting space is available. The team is left to try and find a team room in another building, or make do with any open space in Mendoza. Some of Kelly's team members have class in an hour, so they decide to make the best of the stairwell. Unfortunately, there are not enough tables or chairs and no whiteboard. Some team members stand, and as the meeting progresses, she can tell the team is not focused on the discussion. As the meeting concludes, Kelly is overwhelmed. Several key pieces of the presentation are still outstanding. She has a few ideas on how to attack them, but she knows that locking things up over email will take time. This meeting was supposed to end with a finished presentation. Instead, Kelly is left feeling concerned and anxious about how her team will effectively present their strategy. What if there was a way to solve Dave and Kelly's StudySpace problems? A solution that didn't require new construction of a study space, but instead optimized the space that was already available. Every day, Kelly, Dave, and their peers walk past large and often underutilized spaces. Primary and secondary research led us to design a way to fill these spaces with students looking for a place to study, in groups or individually, without sacrificing the main function of the space. Kelly is at home talking to a teammate on the phone. He reminds her to reserve a room for the team meeting at 1 o'clock. Kelly pulls up Inside ND on her smartphone and logs into the ND Study Scene network. She finds an open room for 1 p.m. and reserves it for a 2-hour team meeting. Dave has just wrapped up his morning class. He's now in need of a study space. Dave glances at his watch. He has 30 minutes for a quick study session before his midterm. Dave pulls up Study Scene on his smartphone and sees that all of his normal study spots are full. However, the wall mounts in the atrium are open. As expected, Dave finds an available unit. He opens the desk and begins to study. A half hour later, he walks into his class, feeling well prepared for his midterm. Kelly arrives at a reserved team room and begins to prepare for her team meeting. Shortly thereafter, the team joins her, and they have a productive session. A few members must leave early, but Kelly and the rest of her team finish. The Dow presentation is flawless. Dave is finishing his midterm. He would like to take off and go play basketball, but he knows that he has a few more hours of work left before he is finished for the day. Dave goes to ND Study Scene and sees that the atrium is open for individual study. Dave finds a comfortable chair, opens a bag of chips, and puts on his headphones. He is ready for a productive 2 hours of reading. Overnight, the study pods are easily broken down and stored. This will help accommodate an executive MBA breakfast in the morning. The Nova 7 solution is not just a new chair or wall mount or Inside ND application. It's a new ecosystem. A system that maximizes the existing use of space in the Mendoza College of Business. This solution will require no new construction. Instead, it will exploit every available opportunity of the current space by leveraging technology, flexible space solutions, and a room reservation system. This solution will solve Dave and Kelly's study space dilemmas, as well as the many other users of the Mendoza College of Business. If it can work here, couldn't it work anywhere on campus?